I'm a divorced single dad, father of 5 kids. It can be tough raising kids today. Believe me, there are high times and low times. It comes with the territory. But in all my years of parenting, I try to give some good advice. Advice for those parents who are out there willing to listen. My name is Bryce Van Ray, and welcome to my show. Today we're going to be talking about positive things to say to your kids. Now this is a 3-part series. This is part 2 of 3. But first, I want to congratulate all the new parents out there. Boy, are you in for the time of your life. This is an exciting time and a great adventure, so cherish every moment. Now, on with the show. So today we're going to be talking about positive things to say to your kids. And I hope you enjoyed the first part that we did. Before, I had a lot of things I wanted to say to you. I mean, there's a whole lot, of course. But right now, I'm going to do the part 2 of what we're talking about. So, before we talked about things you can tell your kid like they're loved, you make me smile. The world's better with you in it. You're creative. Trust your instincts. You are capable. You're strong. You can say no. Your choices matter. And the list goes on. I hope you guys do listen to that podcast. In any case, this is what we're going to be talking about today. The part 2 in our series. So let's get started. You want to tell your child you are kind. That's right. Kids are kind. And they have a good heart. That's something kids need to know. Kids need to hear it from a parent. Because kids trust what a parent say. When a parent says, I love you, they know it's true. I mean, hopefully you love your child and you're going to say it with your whole heart. But you definitely want to tell your child you are kind. You want to instill that kind of good nature in your child. The next thing you definitely want to tell your kid is you don't have to like what someone is saying in order to treat them with respect. There's going to be times in life that you're definitely not going to like what people say to you or anything. But you have to try to take the higher ground. And you don't have to like what someone is saying. But if they do tell you something, respect what they say as long as it's not degrading, demeaning, immoral, mean, vicious. But I mean, sometimes people will say stuff and sometimes they don't mean any harm. Sometimes they do. But always take the high ground. Tell your child, you never have to stoop down to somebody else's level. You can see so much more when you stand on top of a mountain and look over. Do you know an eagle? An eagle sees everything. An eagle has a perfect perception and a view of the world. Now, what does an ant have? An ant can't see much. But if you can take that higher ground, hopefully that will help you. Something else you should tell your child. Someone else's poor behavior is not an excuse for your own. So if somebody's screaming at you and yelling at you, you don't have to scream back. You don't. You control your emotions. Nowadays, there's things called road rage. People are on the street. They're in a rush to get somewhere. I don't know what's going through their mind because I try not to have that kind of road rage. But there are people out there when somebody makes a gesture with their fingers or they're screaming or honking their horn or screaming, they will return that in kind the same. They'll scream back. Now, what does that really accomplish? It gets you upset. It gets them upset. It can escalate a situation and you don't know what the outcome could be. Sometimes the people just drive away, but other times there's a confrontation. Nobody wants that kind of a confrontation. So someone else's poor behavior is not an excuse for your own. And that goes all through life. That can be applied anywhere in life. In your job, when your kids get older, so you're going to have a job. And your boss may demean you or put you down. Well, you know what? There's other jobs out there. Or you can confront them and say, listen, don't talk to me like that. Listen, show me some respect like I'm showing you. Hopefully they'll get it. And when you're kids, it's great to learn these kinds of skills and see this kind of behavior, especially kids. They'll go to school. And nowadays you have the bullying epidemic. And I mean, it is out of control. You know, bullying when I was a kid, it was just all verbal. But now they have social media. So it is a little tougher for kids today. But if you tell your child, if you need help, come to me. That's what parents are here for. Parents are here to help you. So if someone else's poor behavior bothers you, it upsets you, and you can't handle it, tell your child, I'm here for you. That's why I'm here, because I love you. And I don't want you to experience someone else's poor behavior. You know, people strive to be perfect. Nothing is absolutely 100% perfect. We all have our imperfections. But you need to tell your child, so am I. So is the next person. So is the world. But don't quit. Just because everyone's a little bit imperfect doesn't mean you're not a good person. It means you're a great person. When you make a cake, everybody wants to make a cake that looks totally beautiful and fantastic and is memorable. But sometimes it isn't going to come out the way you want. But guess what? On the inside, it's delicious. That's right, it's delicious. Let me tell you something else about imperfection. I don't know if many people know this, but I'm an artist. And being an artist, you know, you take pride in your work. So when I was younger, I had a real problem with taking criticism, especially when it came to art. But, you know, I think that's a lot of things that artists go through, because I noticed that's just some common trait. You know, you draw something, you're proud of it. But guess what? I had to learn that what I draw isn't always going to come out the way I want, isn't always going to be perfect. There's going to be some imperfections. That's just the way it is. That's just the way life is. If life was absolutely perfect, there would be no wars, there would be no hate, no diseases. But unfortunately, things happen. Life can be imperfect. You know what they call that? They call that life. But explain to your child that it doesn't mean you're bad. Doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It's life. You're imperfect. So am I. So is everybody. Nothing is absolutely perfect. Next thing you want to tell your child, you can change your mind. You can change your mind. Find that strength inside you. Tell your child, it's there. Tell your child, if you don't like something, say you don't like something. If you do like something, say you do like something. I take my children to a fast food restaurant every now and then. We go through the drive-thru. But I make sure I put my child in a situation where they have to speak to the person through the microphone. You know, I want to make sure their confrontational skills are good. I want to make sure they get over that fear of talking. So I tell them, what do you want to get? Now my daughter says, Dad, you can order for me. I said, no, I'm not ordering for you. Nope, I'm not going to do it. If you don't get it, it's because of you. That's right. It's because of you. So I'll open the window. They'll ask me what I want, and I'll tell them. A donut, blah, 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 some hash browns, this and that. My daughter will say she wants a coffee, a donut, bagel, but then she'll change her mind. I don't want her to be scared not to speak up. I want her to say, listen, I just ordered this donut, but I changed my mind. This is what I want. Teach your kids that. Or if your kid's in a situation where they want to do something with their friends, tell them you don't have to go with the flow. If you disagree with somebody, say you disagree. You have the power in you and the strength to change your mind. I mean, we can talk about if you're with friends who are doing something you don't agree with. Change your mind. Tell them no. I'm not going to do it. Or if your friends want to go out to the mall and you're like, oh, I'm so tired. I don't really want to go to the mall. Change your mind. Tell them, I changed my mind. I have stuff to do. I got to wash my hair. Funny thing is, I don't have any hair anymore. So I can't use that excuse. Not at all. Another thing you want to tell your child is this. This is a really good one. You can learn from your mistakes. You can definitely learn from your mistakes. Do you know, in my opinion, mistakes in life are the best teachers. They absolutely are. You can learn a lot from things that go wrong. Do you know, I heard a story of, I believe it's Thomas Edison. He invented the light bulb. So, I mean, it took him a long time to get the light bulb. And when he finally got it done, a reporter asked him, Mr. Edison, how's it feel to be a failure? You tried over 1,000 times to make a light bulb and you failed. You failed. Well, Thomas Edison looked at him and had his little smile on his face and responded. He said, guess what? I didn't fail 1,000 times making a light bulb. I learned how not to make a light bulb over 1,001 times, and then I succeeded. He learned from a lot of his mistakes. A lot of ways to make a light bulb. There's a lot of ways to make a light bulb in your life. A light bulb, if you want to use this analogy in your life, can light the way and the path to your future, to your child's future. Let your child know that you can learn from mistakes. Whether you're taking a test, you get the wrong answer, or if you have to take a test over and over and over till you get it right. You don't give up either. Tell your child, don't give up. But you can definitely learn from your mistakes. And in life, you are going to make some mistakes. Granted that. Explain to your child, mistakes are going to happen. But please try to learn from them. It's a learning experience. Mistakes are the best teachers in life, if you ask me. The next one you want to tell your child is, you can ask for help. That's right, your child can always ask for help. And you need to explain to your child, you can come to me too. You can come to me. If you need help, you come to me. If your little child's climbing up the stairs, Mommy, Daddy, I need some help. Go right there and help them. Reassure them. Give them that security. Say, I'm here for you. I know you need help. That's why I'm here. Later on in life, they'll need some help. Let me tell you something about myself. You guys know I'm divorced with 5 kids. Well, when I got divorced, I lost my home. Homeless. Had my 5 kids. I had to go back to my parents and say, I'm going to be going through a divorce. I need some help. And guess what? My parents were there for me. They helped me. But you know what? I'm always there for my parents. I try to be. You know why? Because they helped me. Now I have to help them. It's the right thing to do. Plus, I love them. So tell your child you can always ask for help, no matter what you do in life. And your kids are always going to need help. If you think being a parent is just 16, 17, 18-year job. It's not. You shouldn't even think of it like a job. You should think of it like, I love what I do. I love being a parent. I always tell my kids, I love being a daddy. One thing I love is being a daddy. And I know my kids are always in life. Hopefully, they'll talk to me. And if they have a problem or they need something, they'll ask for help. Now, I hope every parent out there is sitting down because, your kids are going to ask for help, but when they get older, they're going to ask for money too. That's right. I'm just throwing that out there. So you're going to be like their little money bag because kids always want to go out with their friends. They're going to want to do something and they may not have a job. I mean, when they're in school, should they really have a job? No, they should be in school learning. But I mean, come on, just like parents. We need to unwind, come home. And we like to do things on the weekends, with our kids or our loved ones. Well, guess what? Kids do too. Kids want to hang out with their friends. So don't be stingy. Give them a little money. I'm just throwing that in there. Something else you should tell your child is, you are learning. That's right. Kids are always going to be learning. Learning something new, learning something different, because that's what kids do. Kids are like a sponge. They learn from the day they're born. And they will learn throughout their whole life, because that's what kids do. And it's a great thing. It's a great thing to watch your child learn. Learn new things, see new things, tell you new things. They learn. And guess what, everybody? I hope you're listening when I say this. They learn from their mistakes. That's right, because mistakes you can definitely learn by. Which goes back, this is why a lot of the things I've said in the past, in the first episode of this, you definitely works with everything I'm saying now. Connect the dots. I always say connect the dots. Everything in life is connected. You just got to connect the dots. Kids are learning. But something else your kid is doing, I bet you don't know what this is. Your kids are growing. Your kids are always going to be growing. Growing in heart, growing in soul, growing in mind, because that's what kids do. Kids grow. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. Tell them you are growing, and hopefully it's in a positive way. But of course, we all know you're going to have great kids, right? We hope we have great kids, but we still got to love them. And tell your kid, growing is hard work. That's right. When you got to make decisions, tough decisions, it can be hard work. But you want to make sure your kid knows that. And there's nothing wrong with a good hard day's work. That's what we all do. We all work. And we all grow. Tell your child this too. I believe in you. Kids need to hear that. I believe in you. You know what a great feeling it is when a parent says that? I believe in you. I believe you'll do the right thing. I believe you will make the great choices. I believe no matter what you do, I can trust you. Tell them I believe in you. But something else is, tell them I believe you. I mean, we are going to raise great kids. And if something happens, or they're in a situation and they're telling you something, hey, I didn't do this, Dad, or Dad, guess what? This is what happened. Or Mom, I was here and this is what happened. Have faith in your kid. Believe them. I mean, you're raising your kids with these values. These positive things you want to say to your kids. So in the future, if something happens, it can be resolved. Say, I believe you. I believe you. Especially, you always want to believe a kid when they say this. Now listen, when they say, I love you. That's right. Because you're going to say, I love you, and you want your child to believe it, don't you? Because you do love your child. Tell your child you are valuable. Your child is valuable like a diamond, like a gold nugget. They're precious to you. You want to make sure your child knows this. There's only one you need to tell your child. There's only one you in the world. No one else is like you. Not one person. And you are very, very, very valuable in heart, soul, and mind. And you're interesting. That's right. You should talk to your children. When they're able to talk, I'm not saying when they're baby. Well, you know what? When they're babies too, you can talk to them. You go, do, daddy loves you. I love you, blah, blah, blah. You know, but I'm going to tell you, they're very interesting. And you can watch them grow every day. That's right. It's funny how all the things I'm saying before it connects to the next thing. You know? You can watch them grow because they're interesting. Definitely tell your child this: you are beautiful. Your child needs to know that. A lot of kids today, they have self-esteem issues. I know I've always had self-esteem issues. I still do. It's just human nature, I think. But as a parent, you need to reinforce the fact that you are beautiful and tell them why they're beautiful. You're beautiful because you have a great heart. You have a great soul, a great mind. You're beautiful for the things you do. You're beautiful because you make the world a better place. You're beautiful because I see what you do, how you do it, and it's beautiful. You're beautiful because the way you interact with people, it's amazing. You are beautiful because you make people smile. When you walk into a room, everybody lights up. You're beautiful. Tell your child that you are beautiful. Not just physical beauty. I mean, tell your child, listen, there's more to the world than physical beauty. Beauty, true beauty, is on the inside. It's something you never see. You know what? Have you ever gotten a present that's all wrapped up? Beautiful package. And let's just say there's another present next to it that's maybe not as wrapped up as good as the first one. I mean, the first one probably has a bow, fancy little wrapping paper. The second one, it's probably the one I would make. You wrap it up in a paper grocery bag and you just draw tape and a draw bow on it. But guess what? You never know what's on the inside. You never know until you open it. I mean, the first package, which was you consider beautiful, all beautiful and decorated up, you open it up, there's nothing in there. Absolutely nothing. It's empty. But the other one wrapped up in a paper bag, you open it up, and it's filled with the most amazing things that make you wonder. Makes you sit there and say, what in the world is this? This is absolutely stunning. The things inside this box is beautiful. Well, you know what? Explain this to your child. It's you. It's your child. What's on the inside counts. Not the packaging or the wrapping. Tell your child they're beautiful. And tell them why. And tell them to show the world inside you there is more. You are beautiful. But also tell them when you make a mistake, you're still beautiful. Because everybody in the world makes mistakes. Nothing is absolutely guaranteed perfect. Everybody makes a mistake. I've made mistakes. Sure, my parents have made mistakes. Strangers, everybody makes them. But tell them they're still beautiful. So listen, everybody. I want to thank you for joining me today and listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you're notified when a new podcast is posted. Rate and review this podcast and share it with your family and friends. I hope you leave with something that helps you being a parent. I will see you next time here. And remember this one last bit of advice. Tomorrow is never promised. So don't go to bed angry at your child or anyone you love. And before you go to bed tonight, hug your child and tell them, I will love you forever, Dad. See you next time here on Forever Dad.